Two geniuses, one goal, outsmart the other. A game of deception, logic, and pride. This is Light versus L, the ultimate battle of wits.
Today, we are going to tackle the question, who would truly win a battle of wits between Light and L? To explore this, we'll consider a hypothetical scenario in which Misa and Rim never came into the picture. A situation where Light must either outsmart and kill L himself or be caught in the act. We'll analyze what each of them brings to the table using canon events and established context from Death Note to guide our reasoning. In a life or death battle of intellect, who would come out on top? Let's find out. On the surface, Light Yagami appears to be a hardworking, upstanding individual with a promising future. But behind that mask lies a psychopathic killer consumed by a god complex. Light is an idealist with a twisted sense of justice. To him, the world is rotten, and in order to create a better one, he condemns anyone he views as a criminal to death. Obtaining the Death Note corrupts him completely. Empowered by its deadly influence, Light begins to see himself as nothing less than a god, an infallible being who is not to be defied. Light is a full-blown narcissist, defined by his extreme arrogance. He genuinely believes everyone around him is beneath him, and his pride dictates everything that he does. Like all narcissists, Light possesses a deep need for control and order. He is manipulative and deceitful, willing to do whatever it takes to achieve his goals and maintain his authority. However, Light's arrogance is also his Achilles heel. Because of it, he often takes reckless actions, unnecessary risks, and prematurely flaunts his victories. When things fail to go according to plan, Light experiences intense frustration and humiliation. These moments of weakness push him to overanalyze every situation and make rash, careless decisions that frequently backfire.
L's temperament is what truly defines him: calm, analytical, and always calculating. He almost never shows emotion except for brief flashes of sadness or loneliness. And when he does, it's deliberate. Like when he calls Light a friend, not out of warmth, but as a clever move to lower his opponent's defenses. L approaches every case with relentless logic, analyzing every possibility, even when his choices blur the line between right and wrong. Beyond his brilliance, he's known for his eccentric habits and awkward demeanor. His slouched posture, which he claims improves his reasoning by 40%, and his disheveled appearance make him stand out. But even this awkwardness could be intentional, a clever way to appear harmless and lure others into underestimating him. L is a definition of objectivity. He won't accuse anyone without absolute proof, no matter how strong his intuition might be. He thrives on challenge, taking only the most complex cases that test his intellect. Like Light, he's highly competitive, but unlike Light, his lack of emotional attachment allows him to think clearly, relying on logic rather than pride.
Some let pride cloud their vision. L sees clearly. While Light lets ego and self-righteousness dictate his moves, L stays calm, detached, and methodical, analyzing every possibility with pure logic. In temperament and objectivity, L clearly takes the win. Light possesses an extraordinary capacity for both foresight and adaptability. However, between the two, he clearly favors foresight as the foundation of his strategies. His ability to plan for the long game is nothing short of terrifying. Light always operates several steps ahead with a clear and calculated end goal in mind. Every move that he makes, every action, every word is part of a greater design only he can see. He meticulously maps out each scenario, considering every possible outcome and anticipating the moves of his enemies before they even make them. The greatest example of his brilliance is seen during the Yotsuba arc. Facing the risk of exposure, Light devised an audacious plan. He temporarily relinquished ownership of the Death Note, and with it all of his memories, to divert suspicion away from himself. Through a chain of events he had predicted in advance, Light later regained the Death Note and his memories, effectively clearing his name by working alongside L to catch the current Kira at the time. It was a dangerous plan with countless moving parts, yet it unfolded exactly as Light had foreseen, a testament to his near supernatural intellect and confidence in his own genius. Though Light's strength lies in long-term strategy, he has also shown the ability to adapt when necessary. Still, his adaptations are rarely impulsive. Instead, they are carefully calculated countermeasures designed to reinforce his greater plan. In short, Light cannot function without a long-term strategy. Every move he makes, every decision he takes, must serve the grand design he's already set in motion.
L possesses incredible foresight, suspecting Light of being Kira early in the series. He even goes as far as bugging the Yagami house and tracking Light's every move. L also has a contingency plan in case of his death. 2 successors, Nier and Mello, with Nier ultimately being the one to bring Light down. Throughout their rivalry, L constantly adapts to the traps Light sets, even though Light holds the advantage of knowing how the Death Note truly works. At one point, L takes the ultimate risk, revealing himself directly to Light. L's analytical brilliance shines when he deduces the existence of a second Kira, purely from shifts in the killing patterns, and realizes this new killer only needs a face to kill. Using that knowledge, he tightens his surveillance on Light, ultimately identifying Misa as the second Kira and capturing them both. His determination for the truth goes even further. He's willing to risk human lives by testing the 13-day rule on death row inmates, desperate to confirm that Light and Kira are one and the same. In the battle of minds, one always stays steps ahead, Light Yagami. While L reacts and deduces, Light anticipates every move before it happens. He adapts instantly, manipulates outcomes, and bends the rules to fit his plan. L uncovers the truth, Light shapes it. Every challenge, every shift in circumstance becomes part of his strategy. In foresight and adaptability, Light controls the game.
Thanks to the Death Note, Light can kill with almost no physical constraints whatsoever. However, even this godlike power comes with a set of rules, and those rules create significant challenges for the user. The most important limitation is that the user must know both the name and the face of their target for the Death Note to work. Without this crucial information, the notebook is useless. This is a major obstacle for Light because L never reveals his true identity to anyone. To overcome this limitation, Light could make the Shinigami ideal. In exchange for half of one's remaining lifespan, the user gains the eyes of a Shinigami, a supernatural ability that allows them to see a person's name and their lifespan by simply looking at them. However, Light refuses this deal time and time again, unwilling to sacrifice any portion of his life. This choice imposes a self-inflicted handicap, severely limiting his ability to use the Death Note to its fullest potential. Without the Shinigami eyes, Light's greatest weakness becomes his reliance on information. He cannot act without it, and this dependency often stalls his plans. For all his brilliance, Light remains bound by the same limitations as any human. He is not the omnipotent god he believes himself to be. Finally, while not associated with the Death Note itself, Light's ego stands as perhaps his most fatal constraint. His arrogance drives him to take reckless risks, underestimate his opponents, and impose unnecessary limits on himself, all in the name of his pride. In the end, it is this arrogance, not the Death Note's rules, that ensured his downfall.
L's greatest weakness lies in his humanity. Unlike Light, he's limited to human reasoning and evidence, completely unaware of the supernatural forces at play, the Death Note and the Shinigami. To L, those concepts are impossible, illogical, and therefore dismissed for most of the series. Even with a loyal task force at his side, his more radical ideas are often met with resistance, leaving him to shoulder the weight of the investigation largely alone. These limitations force L to stay within legal boundaries, careful not to lose what little support he has left. After the FBI agents were killed, much of his team either resigned or refused to cooperate with him further. L's isolated upbringing has left him socially awkward, unable to form true bonds. Most people around him see themselves as pawns in his relentless pursuit of Kira. And beneath his calm exterior, L shares Light's obsessive nature when proven wrong. His frustration shows through subtle pouting and lethargy, a rare glimpse of his humanity.
In a game defined by rules, only one player turns limits into power, Light. Where others see limits, Light sees a way forward. He turns every constraint into an advantage, anticipates every move, and manipulates every situation. While L relies on human logic, Light leverages rules as a weapon, turning limitations into a tool for dominance. Like L, Light is remarkably intelligent. His tactics can best be described as a fusion of long-term strategy, analytical and deductive reasoning, psychological manipulation, and calculated risk-taking. As previously discussed, Light is a master of the long game. Every move he makes is part of a larger design, meticulously planned and executed with frightening precision. He constantly considers every possible scenario, mapping out contingencies for outcomes that most people wouldn't even anticipate. This level of foresight stems from his highly analytical and deductive mind. Light observes everything with clinical detail, breaking down every situation piece by piece. He thinks several steps ahead and often predicts his opponent's move with unnerving accuracy. A cornerstone of Light's strategy is his mastery of psychological manipulation. He knows exactly how to play people, exploiting their emotions, vulnerabilities, and trust to serve his own ends. One striking example is his encounter with Naomi. Light used her grief and curiosity against her, flattering her with the promise of joining the task force, only to extract her true identity and eliminate her as a loose end. He employed a similar tactic with Misa Amane, manipulating her devotion to him for his own purposes. Through this manipulation, he indirectly forced Rim's hand, leading to L's death, a move that secured Light's position while costing others everything. Perhaps Light's most defining trait, however, is his willingness to take calculated risks. His strategies often involve enormous gambles, moves that could lead to catastrophic failure if they go wrong. Yet Light's confidence in his intellect and planning drives him to take these chances, betting everything he has on his own genius. Most of the time, his gambles succeed, earning him victory after victory, but it's his unshakable willingness to risk everything, that fearless, almost reckless belief in his own superiority, that truly defines him.
From the moment L is introduced, he's already established as a legendary detective, known across the world. His methods are rooted in logic, a cold, objective pursuit of truth that relies on psychological manipulation, calculated experiments, and a razor-sharp analysis. L never takes anything at face value. He questions everyone and everything, whether it's during his tennis match with Light or when he strategically presents him with a supposed fourth Kira letter. When L says he suspects Light by only 5%, it isn't modesty, it's precision. That 5% simply reflects the evidence he can prove, not what he truly believes. L's brilliance lies not just in logic, but in his deep grasp of human psychology. He uses emotion as a weapon, setting traps that push suspects into exposing themselves. The Lindell Taylor broadcast being a perfect example. From that one move, L deduced that Kira was located in Japan's Kanto region and required both a name and a face to kill. His tactics can be extreme, using a death row inmate as bait, bugging suspects' homes, and even detaining Light and Misa. But L's commitment to uncovering the truth knows no bounds. Constantly adapting to Light's ever-changing strategy, L stands as the ultimate detective mind, able to read why and how a suspect acts. Even when his methods seem ruthless, he never fails to tighten the noose, forcing Light to defend his innocence while knowing deep down that he's guilty. The winner of methodology and intelligence is L. While Light moves boldly, overconfident, and impulsive, L observes. He analyzes every clue, studies every reaction, and tests every theory. No shortcuts, no assumptions, just sharp, rigorous reasoning. L anticipates, L adapts, L outthinks. In pure intellect and deduction, L takes the edge.
Light's primary advantage over L lies in his connections to the supernatural. With the Death Note in his possession, he wields an otherworldly power, the ability to kill at will, and maintains a dangerous link to the Shinigami who oversees it. Thanks to the Death Note, Light can eliminate his targets without leaving behind any physical evidence. His method of killing is completely untraceable, making it nearly impossible to build a case against him without undeniable proof. But Light's power extends beyond simple execution. The Death Note allows him to control not only how and when a person dies, but even their actions leading up to their death. This gives him a terrifying degree of flexibility, one that he uses with chilling creativity to divert suspicion and manipulate events to his advantage. Though he has repeatedly refused it, Light also has the option of obtaining the Shinigami eyes. By making this deal, he would instantly gain the ability to see anyone's name and lifespan simply by looking at them, effectively granting him everything he needs to kill anyone, anywhere, at any time. And then there's Ryuk, the Shinigami bound to Light's Death Note. While Ryuk claims to be neutral, his curiosity and appetite for amusement makes him a potential wildcard. Canonically, he has been shown to do trivial things for something as simple as apples. If helping Light promised to make things more entertaining, it is not unthinkable that Ryuk might subtly tip the scales in Light's favor.
What really sets L apart is his secrecy. From the moment we meet him, he hides behind layers of mystery, speaking only through watchery and appearing as a distorted voice on a screen marked by a single letter, L. This secrecy created the ultimate obstacle for Light. Without knowing L's real name, killing him was impossible. Unless, of course, he had the Shinigami eyes. Here's the funny part. By keeping his identity hidden, L didn't just become the world's best detective, he also ranked as number 2 and number 3. Talk about overachieving. Thanks to his global network of resources, L was always one step ahead. It's what allowed him to set up the legendary Lind L. Taylor trap that kickstarted his battle with Kira. Without the supernatural forces at play, L was the true winner of their mind game. From the start, he saw through Light's act and kept that suspicion alive until his final moment.
Even with all of the supernatural forces at his disposal, Light is missing one critical element, something only L can provide: his true identity. Without this single indispensable piece of information, Light's connections to the supernatural become ultimately useless. L guards his identity with unmatched vigilance, revealing it to no one. Unless Light is willing to make extreme sacrifices or manage the near impossible task of completely manipulating Ryuk, he will never obtain what L protects. In that respect, the advantage unquestionably belongs to L. In our view, L is the true victor in this battle of minds, though with a very important condition. Light is undeniably a masterful long-term strategist, and he operates with far fewer limitations than L. However, when it comes to raw intellect, he is clearly outmatched. His temperament and ego-driven impulses only widen the gap, often playing directly into L's hands. More often than not, Light finds himself on the defensive, struggling to misdirect L's suspicions. Outsmarting him is virtually impossible, and it's only a matter of time before Light makes that single critical mistake that seals his fate. There is, however, one caveat we can't ignore: the Shinigami Eyes.
If Light ever accepted the Shinigami ideal, he would finally possess the one thing he needs to eliminate L. In truth, this is Light's only definitive path to victory. L will never willingly reveal his identity, and Ryuk has no intention of helping him under any circumstances. The lingering problem is whether Light would ever agree to the deal in the first place. Canon gives us 3 separate instances where Light is offered or seriously considers the Shinigami Eyes. Yet, he rejects the deal each time, even under immense pressure. It may be his only way to win, but nothing suggests he would ever take it, desperation or not.
Ultimately, the conflict between Light and L revolves around a simple but decisive contrast. Each one needs something the other refuses to give. Light needs a name, and L needs evidence. But only one of them is willing to do whatever it takes to achieve their goals while the other hesitates. And that is why, in the end, L emerges as the true winner of this battle of wits. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, we will catch you guys later.
See ya.